Kelly here with Mindful Bodyworks. So today we're going to be doing another HIIT yoga flow. If you haven't joined me before with our HIIT workout, we're doing a challenge. Now you can just join in anytime. You don't have to start with day one. HIIT stands for high intensity interval training. So we'll be doing intervals of 20 seconds. We'll be doing an exercise, then a 10-second break. We do that usually for 8 rounds, sometimes 4 rounds. It really just varies. But you do get your heart rate up, you get a great workout. But by doing the HIIT workout in yoga poses, it's actually a little easier on our joints. So like when we're doing burpees, we might have our knees really bent. You always want to use the modifications that I provide, especially if you have any knee or wrist issues. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're just going to start by warming up. So we just want to get the blood pumping. So we're going to start in a lunge. Our left foot is forward, and we're just going to inhale and exhale. So when we're in any lunge or any squat, throughout our whole workout, warm up, cool down, our knee is always in line with the ankle or back. You never want it to be out here, okay? Because that's going to stress the knee. So let's go ahead and begin again. So inhale and exhale. Keep that navel sucked up into your spine. That keeps your core nice and tight and strong. It also protects your low back. So we'll do 2 more here. And last one. And then we're just gonna stay low, come back to center, and then we'll go to the other side. So lunging, right foot forward, and inhale, and exhale. Again, watch that knee, very important. Keeping that belly button in, and most importantly, breathing. So we have 2 more, and last one. Good, staying low, coming back to center. And we'll keep a bend in the knees, and we're gonna inhale the arms up, and exhale down. Now if you can't go very far, just a slight bend is completely fine. If you're really flexible, you can sweep those arms down. So inhaling up, exhaling down. 4 more. And last one. Good. All right, so you should start to be getting warm now. We're gonna go ahead and stretch out. So we're going to come back to the first leg in our lunge and come down into a low lunge. We have our back knee on the mat. Now if you need to double this up or put a blanket under for your knee, please do so. We're just going to lean forward. So scooch those left toes forward. And really opening up the front of that back hip. Now you can have your hands underneath for stability. You can also bring those arms up if you want a little bit more of a stretch. You can also bring your hands to your hips, so make it work for you. And then we're gonna go ahead and just pull the hips back behind us and lift our toes towards our nose. Now you wanna make sure that you have a slight bend in that front knee, that front left knee. We're just leaning. So by bringing our toes towards our nose, we're feeling a nice stretch in the back of the leg. Then we'll just come straight up and switch legs. So now we'll have our right toes forward. And you want to scooch those toes out. So you have a nice foundation. Now anytime you need to hold something, a couch, a wall, or you can even hold blocks. And just breathe in here. Again, you can extend those arms if you want more of a stretch. Still keeping that belly button sucked into the spine, protecting our low back. And then we'll go ahead and just bring our hips back towards the back wall and lean forward. Again, nice little bend in the knee here. Toes towards our nose. Breathing into the back of the leg. If you're flexible, you can even bring the fingertips to the floor, but that's completely up to you. And then we'll go ahead and just come back to the knees. We're gonna open up the front of the body. So we're gonna take our fists on either side of the low back. We're gonna come up on the toes. We're just gonna make a C with the spine. So breathing here. If this is uncomfortable for your low back, you can just stay straight up, okay? And then from here, we'll come into our child's pose. So knees apart, feet together. And if you're not able to reach the floor, you can just sit just like this with your hips opening back. You can stack the fist. You can use blocks here as well. Or if you can get your head down, breathing into the low back and the hips. Two more breaths here. And then slowly come back on top of floors. Now our first pose is actually going to be standing. So I want you to just dip those toes into your mat and lift up. You can either walk your feet in or walk your hands back to your feet. Either way, we're going to roll up the spine one vertebrae at a time. Head's the last thing to come up, and shoulders back. Our first movement is going to be a burpees with a hop. So we're gonna do a burpee. Now this is a modified burpee. We're gonna put the hands down, our knees are super bent. We're gonna come back, the knees still stay bent, but we wanna suck that navel in towards the spine to protect our low back. We're gonna hop it in, and then we're gonna lift twice, okay? So here we go. You're gonna hear the audible beeps. 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So burpee, back in, lift, lift. Burpee, come in, lift, lift. Now you might need to go a little bit slower. That's completely fine. That's our break. So once we start getting into this, you'll feel a little more comfortable with it. Bringing the hands down, jump back, knees bent, come back in, lift, lift. Remember to suck that belly button in when you're coming down for your burpee to protect your low back. All right, that's our break. We have 6 rounds left. So make sure you keep moving. We are getting our heart rate going up. And here we go. Last one. Have some water nearby. You can always press pause if you need to. And here we go. I like to exhale when I'm coming up. That way it makes me remember to breathe. Last one. All right, 10 seconds. Now this time you can continue doing it just like we're doing it. If you'd like to add a hop at the end instead of a lift, you can. So pick which one works best for you. Or maybe you can go back and forth just like I did. So if your heart rate's starting to get up and you need to lower it, then come back to the lift instead of the hop. Or if you want that heart rate to continue to go, hop it out. Last one. trouble getting back, you can always step back or step in instead of hop in. So these are all about making it work for you. And that's our break. All right, we only have one set left. Let's finish strong. And here we go. For our second one. All right, guys, our second set or our second exercise is going to be down dog kicks of fire. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be, you can either be on all fours, just like this, and so you'll be kicking back on one leg, so let's say the right leg, and this is what you do, okay? We'll be doing 4 sets on the right, 4 sets on the left. Or you can come up into a modified down dog, so our knees are bent just like with those burpees. And we're adding, you can add a little hop, or you can just extend the leg. Completely up to you, all right? So let's go ahead and get set up. We're gonna do the right leg first. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so you're squeezing through that glute. Right leg only. Squeeze, squeeze, 3, 2, 1. All right. Now, ideally we do 4 sets on the right, 4 sets on the left. If for some reason your right leg is burning right now, you can switch to that left leg. All right. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. So again, making sure that if for some reason your wrists are uncomfortable, onto your fist or even down to your forearm. Or if you have an ottoman or a couch, you can also hang on to that as well, okay? So we have 2 more sets on this right leg. And here we go. So you can set up your foundation like we did, or if you'd like to kick in a down dog or a modified, because we have this knee bent. Just make sure you're breathing and you're still pushing through that heel. For sure. All right, one more set on the right side, and then we'll switch to the left. Pick which one you like. And here we go. Pushing through the heel. Breathing. Going a little bit slower on this one just to get that left leg moving. Make sure you're feeling comfortable with it. Still pushing through the left heel, extending out. And that's our break. So you're always welcome to push pause and grab water if you need it. Here we go. If you want to challenge yourself and come up into that modified down dog, you can, or you can stay low. Breathing either way. And that's a wrap. Woo. breaking it up. Either way, anybody can do anything for 10 seconds. That's all we have left. Pushing through the heel. And that's it. Oh, you did it. Good deal. All right, so grab some water. I'm going to reset the Tabata timer, and then we'll come to our ab portion. All right, guys, here we go with our abs. So we're going to be breaking it up into 4 sets. We're going to do 8 total. So we're going to be doing running abs. So we're going to set up our foundation on our forearms, lifting up. Make sure you're not drooping that spine. And you're just going to be kicking out through the legs or through the heels. So that'll be your first 4. And then your second 4 will just be a boat pose. So you can either go out like this, or if that's too much, you can just have an alternating leg for a modified boat, okay? Either way, you wanna make sure you're not sinking into those shoulders. You have to lift up. You can also come up on the fingertips if you want for the boat. All right, so let's get started. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and kicking, running abs. Squeezing that navel in, lifting through the shoulders and the head. You might feel this in the legs, the hip flexors, and the abs, but you want to breathe. And that's our break. You're welcome to lay down and stretch out the abs during our 10-second break. And then reset. And here we go. So pushing through the heels. Make sure you're breathing. If you're exhaling, that will make you squeeze in your abdominals even more. Almost there. And release. Again, lying down. You can stretch out those abs. And then reset. And here we go. Pushing through the heels. Make sure you're not collapsing that low back. And here we go. Break. So we only have 1 set of these left, and then we'll switch to our boat pulses. So finish strong. Here we go. Every other leg if you feel like you're going to hyperventilate. And that's it. Oh, you did it. All right, so our last one's going to be those boat pulses. All right, guys, it's time to do those boat pulses. Now, abs is not my strongest point, so we're going to be doing these and feeling the burn in the belly together. So here we go. We only have 4 sets of these. You can either be on your forearms or you can come up on your hands, but you're going to be extending the legs out. Now, if this is too much for you, you can just tiptoe just like this. Okay, it's still going to work your abs, just not as much. Make sure you're not collapsing through the low back. And that's set 1. So stretching out, and then we'll come into set 2. So set up your foundation, whether you're wanting to be on your forearms or your fingertips, and breathe. Break, stretching out. Make sure you modify if you need to. Again, you can be on your forearms. You don't have to be up on your hands. You can go nice and slow. You can tiptoe, or you can go fast. Completely up to you. Just make sure you're not collapsing into that low back and you're breathing. And that's a break. 1 set left. do this. Pick which one works best for you. And here we go. You can always switch or tiptoe, whatever you need to do. And that's it. Oh, sweet victory. So let's go ahead and bring those arms out above the head on the ground. Point those toes, stretch those abs, reach through the right arm, reach through the left arm, and breathe. All right, so we need to stretch out and cool down a little bit. So we're gonna go ahead and just come over onto our belly. And stretching out those abdominals, so we're gonna push through the elbows, through the shoulders, and just looking forward slightly. You don't really want to look up, that's going to stress your neck. And if you don't feel a stretch here, you can come up a little bit higher. However, if you have any low back issues going on, do not come up on your hands, okay? So stretching here, breathing, relax the shoulders down away from your ears, and slowly come back down. Now from here, we're just gonna take our right forearm underneath our head so that we have a little pillow. And if you can, you're gonna grab your left foot. So you want your knee to be pointed at the bottom of your mat. So make sure you're not cheating and bringing that knee out to the side. If you cannot grab your foot, you can use a belt, a scarf, anything that you can to just kind of strap around the foot and pull it towards you. So breathing into the front of the thigh. And now slowly relaxing and switching hands. So we're gonna have our left forearm bent for a nice pillow. Grab the right foot or take a strap or belt or scarf and put around that foot and hold it that way. So breathing here. Again, your knee is towards the bottom of the mat. Make sure you're not bringing the knee out to the side. It's very important. And then releasing that. And from here, I want you to just bring the hips back and sit into that child's pose that we did at the beginning of our practice. You can stack the fist if you need to, or hands, lie on your forearms, whatever's comfortable for you. But knees are wide, feet together, and you're relaxing. Really want to open the back with this. If for some reason it's uncomfortable for your knees, you can always pad them, or you can skip this altogether if it's too much for your knees. And then coming to all fours, we're going to come into our cat and cow. So cat, we just do our Halloween cat, so we're bringing the chin towards the chest, arching the spine up towards the sky, and relaxing. You can be on the toes if you want, and then coming back down to cow. So belly is coming towards the mat. We're looking forward just slightly, and we're really pushing through the hands and the shoulders, lifting through the front of the body, and we're breathing freely here. And then coming back to our neutral spine. We're gonna go ahead and come back into our kneeling position that we did at the beginning of class. We'll take that right foot forward, scooching those toes out so we're in a low lunge and leaning into this. If you're having trouble with balance, grab onto a wall or the couch. You can also come up on that back toe. That will help give you stability. It will also take a little pressure off your knee. So breathing, sitting up nice and tall, and feeling very accomplished here. You guys did a wonderful job. We'll go ahead and bring those hips back. So either take your hands to the floor, toes come towards the nose, or you can come up like this as well. Just make sure you have just a micro bend in that front knee. You don't want to hyperextend the knee at all. we'll go ahead and switch sides. So left foot is gonna come forward, scooch those toes out. So we're in a nice low lunge. Again, wherever your hands wanna be is fine. You just wanna make sure you're stable here so that you're not loosey-goosey, falling over. So grab onto something if you need it. So you can focus on the stretch. Breathing. And then pulling those hips back. Toes towards the nose, either hands on the floor, the hips, or the thigh. Make sure we have that micro bend in that front knee. And find your breath. Good, and then coming back to center. And then we did our kneeling camel here. So bringing our fist on either side of the sacrum, so not the low back, lower than that. Come onto your toes for stability and just make a C with the spine. Opening up that front body, bringing that navel in towards the spine. And then relaxing back down. Good. All right, we're gonna be coming into our final resting pose. So we're gonna lie all the way down onto the mat. You want a blanket or a pillow under your knees, feel free to grab one. We're gonna take the legs out nice and long. We're gonna bring those shoulders down away from our ears. Bring the low back down away from the shoulders. You can either have your hands out beside you, palms facing up, or if it's more comfortable, you can put your hands on your low belly and just feel the rise of the breath. And so we want to completely melt into the mat here. So let's find our breath, inhaling deeply into the belly, just like you're airing up a balloon, expanding the balloon with the breath. And exhaling, completely squeezing that belly button in. That helps expel all of our air so that we have a deeper inhalation on our next breath. Finding that flow, surfing that breath. Trying to find equal inhalations and equal exhalations. And just starting to relax, make any micro adjustments if you need to. Make sure your head and neck and jaw are relaxed. Make sure you're not clenching your teeth. You're relaxing your shoulders, letting those shoulder blades make an imprint on the mat or the floor. And relaxing those legs from the hips, knees, ankles, and toes, letting the toes and the feet splay out if they need to the sides. And find that still moment. So I'm going to leave you here with your breath. Anytime you have a thought that pops in your head, just give it little wings and let it float away until the end of our final resting pose. And I'll let you know when it's time to come back. So just relax. going to lengthen the breath. If you'd like to stay in this corpse pose longer, feel free to press the pause button. Otherwise, we're going to start wiggling the toes, wiggling the fingers, making some circles with the wrist and the ankles. And again, deepening the breath, and when you're ready, you can bring one knee and then the other bent, and just windshield wiper those legs from side to side. And then coming back to center, you can hug the knees into the chest, rocking from side to side, massaging the low back. And then bringing both knees over to the right side, letting them fall down to the floor. And then pushing ourselves up into a seated position, however that's comfortable for you. And just sitting up nice and tall and breathing. And this is where we're going to end our practice. So we're going to bring our hands prayer position, heart center, and we're going to push the palms together. And then we're going to take a nice deep breath here. And then go ahead and dip your chin towards your chest and take one more final breath here. Inhaling completely and exhaling, letting everything go. And when you're ready, you can blink the eyes open, keeping the gaze low. And then slowly bringing the head back up to center. And this is where we'll end our practice, so namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed HIIT yoga. If not, there are some other yoga styles on the channel, restorative, yin, and a beginner class, so check those out as well. Feel free to leave any comments below, and make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next time.